like you doing something. I ain't doing shit.
All right.
Oh, all right, you owe me $20.
Wait a minute.
And Barbara,
What's this one called?
it's called The Universe According to Arf. And it's a creation story. Dog created matter and energy, igneous rock, which maketh all new, and sedimentary rock, yea, and that which has metamorphosed. Dog put into motion the geochemical cycles, and created diverse microscopic organic spheres. Dog allowed environmental parameters to wax and to wane. And lo, there was selection, naturally, and much time passed, and things were primordial, and it was good. And yet more time rolled by, like unto a mighty river, like unto the mighty Mississippi, which did not yet exist. And Dog made a mental note and saw that it was good. And Dog saw further that there were plants and invertebrates aplenty, a veritable smorgasbord of them, but no vertebrates, not even Amphioxus, their flaccid cousin. And so the world was sadly lacking in the bone department. Woof, Dog said, and there were bones, and it was good.
So I got out of that it was a version of the Bible, but the dog was in place of the God.
Right.
Okay. Woo! I picked that one up. Good.
I hope I don't offend people.
No, I don't think that's offensive at all. Hey, that's your that's your brain. That's your what? So what were you thinking when you wrote that?
I don't know how it started. Something about dogs popped into my head, and so I started writing, and that's what came out. The reason I mostly write poetry instead of longer things, and I mostly write short poetry, is that the way I do it is I get an idea and I just start writing. And if it doesn't turn out very well, well, I get rid of it and try something else.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're writing a novel. It has to be plotted, and you have to know how it's going to end. And I can't do that.
Right.
So.
I asked you this earlier, but we didn't record it very well. I asked you about, do you believe in karma? Because I never was a bad person. I never robbed or raped or killed anybody, or I always tried to be a good person. I made mistakes. I'm not perfect, but a lot of people, we talk about that in karma. And so, what's your now I was assaulted. And I have major nerve damage and I have a lot of pain in my body, but I keep pushing on and I try not to complain about it. But do you believe in karma?
No, I don't really. I mean, it comes from the classical Hindu religion from years past, and it's an idea about the cycle of life, that you are trying to become a better being, so that every time you do bad things, you step back to something that's less advanced. And when you live a good life, you get more advanced, and eventually you become nothing. You become part of the universe. Well, the way we use karma, though, it's more like you'll get yours, you'll be sorry, which is not really the original idea. And it's obviously not true, because if it was true, there wouldn't be any bad people who are 90 years old. All the good people,
right.
And I don't count myself, I'll let other people decide.
Right.
But all the good people, like Greta Thunberg, for instance, the environmental activist, they should live a long time and have good lives.
Yeah.
And so far she is, but
That's right.
a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people get killed. In various ways before they even have a chance to show if they're good people or bad people.
And then you could take somebody like Martin Luther King or
Gandhi. They were both assassinated.
That's right.
Because they were trying to do good things.
Yeah, and I don't believe. Well, you hear stories about Martin Luther King had different women at different hotels, but So, have you ever heard that?
No, I mean it's not a surprise to hear it, but I would need evidence. I mean, like we know that say certain people did that a lot,
Yeah.
like Jim Jones, who murdered all of his followers down in South America.
And Mike Jones too.
I don't know who he is.
He's a rapper in the down south. Sorry, go ahead. Go.
Well, I meant like people like Martin Luther King who portray themselves as really good.
Right.
Well, I think he was really good.
Yeah.
But some of those people, like Jimmy Swaggart
Yeah.
and what's the other guy's name?
You know, I was.
James Baker.
Yeah, James Baker.
I've heard documentaries about them. They were horrible people.
Let me read one more and then we'll be done. All right. Keep on till morning. Water thick with salt within the deepest recesses of what once was sea. Life lingered here till just a few millennia before we came. We missed them like ground sloths, giant predatory, flightless birds, two-story rhinos, traffic, yes, but these six-figured cliff dwellers, claw makers, brewers, weavers, he could have spoken with them. Wow, that was it was a short one, but it was a tongue twister. So help me out with this one. I tried to water thick with salt.
Well, salty water, except what once was a sea, so it's extra salty. You know, like the Great Salt Lake is much more
Right,
salty than.
right.
So that's what that means.
Within the deepest recesses.
Well, just down under the water,
Uh-huh.
deep.
Did I say that word right? Recesses, yeah.
Yeah.
Of what once was sea, life lingered here till just a few millennia before we came.
Okay, so somebody's come to a planet, and the last living things apparently died out a few thousand years before, so they just missed them.
We miss them like ground sloths.
And these are all things, you know, the ground sloths were giant creatures. Some
I
of
didn't
them
know
were
that.
8 or 9 feet tall.
I didn't know that.
They lived in North America.
Really?
Probably they lived down here.
Hmm.
And they're really cool looking.
That's the slow
I've seen-
things that go slow, right?
Yeah, except the ground sloths, I think they were kind of slow, but they were sort of the sloth equivalent of a giraffe. They ate leaves from trees, and they had big, heavy bones because they stood upright. And all we have of them is their skeletons and actually their poop because they lived in caves in the dry parts of the country out west.
Okay.
And so it lets you know what they ate, you know. But anyway, so
Giant.
Thomas Jefferson thought they might still be around. They knew about the bones. So one reason he sent Lewis and Clark out to go west and investigate was because he hoped they would be able to bring back ground sloths.
sloths. Wow.
But there weren't any of that.
Giant predatory flightless birds, two-story rhinos.
Those are both kinds of fossil things that
Gotcha.
died out. The big flightless birds lived like 50 million years ago, but there were some that were pretty big, just like 10,000 years ago in Florida, and the Indians might have met them. I don't know. And then they weren't really rhinos, but they're close relatives of rhinos that were just huge. I mean, they were one group was called the Titanotheres, like Titanic theres, and they were just really, really big.
Tragic, yes, but there were six-figured cliff dwellers, clay makers, brewers, weavers. We could have spoken with them.
Okay, well, the 6 fingers tells you that they're not human, which suggests that the people telling you the story are human. We went to that planet, we found them, and they had, been intelligent, but we missed them.
Gotcha.
That's what it's about.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Thank you for the book. I appreciate it. I will definitely read it. And I'm going to have to do one at a time, and I'm going to have to definitely pull my Google out and dictionary and understand some of these words. I appreciate it.
Like you doing something. Ain't doing shit.